welcome to the Mate. Did you get an eye? Did you get an eye? That's because we called the first podcast Did You Eye? So, Mate, Did You Get an Eye is now the official intro. You may notice it's just me, but there is actually a two-way podcast with me and Jamie coming up. I've decided to do an intro. Basically, it took me about 7 hours to edit this podcast because one little bit of it fucked up. So there's about 4 minutes where it's iPhone sound, and that is the second minute into the podcast. But it only lasts for 4 minutes. So see if you want to skip to the 5th minute and get completely perfect audio quality, then just skip into 5 minutes, and please don't give me shit for it, because it took me 7 hours, so you can grin and bear the 4 minutes of actually pretty good iPhone 12 audio quality. So yeah, if it does piss you off, what you can do is you can build a bridge and get the fuck over it. But yeah, good episode where Jamie actually interviews me about like how I got into online coaching and stuff like that. And yeah, this could be where we have sponsors. This could be the bit that you want to skip, but I'm actually talking about like Manscaped that I use to shave my pubes or something like that. Love how that's the first sponsor I came up with. Couldn't it have been Nike or something, Gavin? But yeah, hope you enjoy the episode. Anyone that helps us out by sharing it on your story. We're only 2 episodes in. We're already having technical difficulties that I'm trying my best to get over. So anyone that helps us get it out there and helps, that 7 hours of sheer torture, by the way, helps me get through it, then yeah. But without further ado, welcome to episode 2 of the Mate. Did you get an eye? The Mate Get a Real Job podcast. Enjoy.
Yes, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Mate Get a Real Job podcast. I am honoured to have my first guest. Only joking. We are honoured
to introduce each other once again because we have no guests yet.
Hopefully we will soon. But like we said last week, the plan for the first 2 episodes is to basically just interview each other. So yeah, Gav, I think we did a wee game of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, and I
week.
lost.
You lost. Doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, I'm going to be interviewing, questioning you about
your eyes are getting pretty scary, by the way.
They're getting pretty what?
Scary.
Oh.
You're just looking at me and I can now see they're deep blue. I've never noticed before.
Can they see down here? I'm going to see me. No. Why? Just let me through it.
That was a good intro.
Yeah.
They can't see it, by the way. We've got fish eyelines on. You can see everything.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a bit of an interview. Going to delve right into sort of your life, how you've got to where you are now, the challenges you faced, different things you've explored. Like on the outset, I think what people will find quite inspiring and will get a lot from is that you sort of have tried a lot of shit that has allowed you to end up where you are. So
yeah, trial and error,
yeah. So we will get into that, obviously. But yeah, let's just start off. What is your current setup right now? How would you describe your job?
So right now, for the past about 9 months, I've spent my time building an online fitness business. But I'm also going to work in a gym as well. But right now, just because when I started doing it, my plan was to go straight into a gym. And then obviously, this flu came about. So it fully transitioned to... So I've done everything a bit backwards. People that become PTs usually blast themselves out on the gym floor, do like 40, 50 hours a week, learn that way, and then do their best to try transition online. Whereas I've done it backwards. I've done it online, and then I'm gonna go in a gym as well.
Yeah.
Basically, I should probably just focus on online business wise, but I actually want to coach in person as well. So I want to learn from being in person because I'll be a better trainer. But I'm online just now.
But even on the online thing, like you've probably, I don't know any PT that has done the direction of online, aka TikTok, like straight off the bat, which is amazing. Like it's like you've sort of created a niche before you even started of or paved a new way of being an online PT through TikTok. Because let's be honest, most people still think of TikTok as like
Yeah,
kids
there's a
singing.
few breaking through. I've got a few friends that are doing it as well, but obviously I wouldn't know about them unless I started doing TikTok. Yeah, loads of people are still looking down on TikTok, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, it's absolutely fine.
But we will get into that in a lot of detail, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching will be following you from TikTok already, and will be extremely interested in how you got to where you are. And to be honest, if you mention calorie deficit once, they're going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, not this again.
Cause that's the good thing about the podcast.
Yeah,
We don't need to talk about that.
We can get into, because they're probably like, who is Gav?
Yeah.
Who's the man behind the Halo light?
And same for you as well. Like if you look at it, your followers are not going to have a clue who you are because you just kick the ball off the crossbar. Mine are trying to get to know me through 30-second videos where I'm just saying fucking
So, which is class. Like, so we're not on a calorie deficit for the next 90 or so minutes.
I don't want those two words to come out of my mouth in the next hour.
Have they come out 4 times already?
Yeah, they have.
So, Gavin Mckinney, we're going to strip it way back, right? Not until you're like, we're not going to go back to when you're 6 months.
Can we keep my clothes on?
I mean, from the years of 0 months to 6, we're probably going to leave out. Because you tiny penis.
Oh, you're actually going to ask me about that. So what was life like when you were 4?
Were you on Tiki then? Were you in a deficit when you were 6? Or were you clean on the fucking yogurts?
I was clean on the Miller Corners.
So, obviously I know you're from Glasgow. People will know from the accent you're from Glasgow, but have you always lived in Glasgow? What was your... So you're born in Glasgow, were you in primary school in Glasgow? What was your like first, younger years like?
So we're at, if we go between 0 and 6, I was actually born in London. My mum and dad used to run pubs in London until I was about 3, and they're both from Glasgow, so we moved back then when I was 4 to a place called Bells Hill, and then from then I pretty much moved in and around North and South Lanarkshire and Glasgow. Went to school in a place called Hamilton, which is an interesting place. Should take you to Hamilton one time. Lovely spot. I took Kaelin there, our good friend, and he just looked at me. He was like, "Never ever take me here again."
So where is that exactly?
It's about maybe 6-7 miles outside of Glasgow.
So Hamilton is where I went to school. Went to high school there. Done my hires, as we call them. Was pretty shambolic at school, to be honest. You done pretty well, but I was the opposite. Like, I'm pretty. Like,
what's the equivalent of hires in the UK?
A levels. Except we basically do 5 in a year, and you do 3, I think. So they're like slightly easier, but we do more of them.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Scottish hires, yeah. Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah. So
don't ask me what I got.
What did you get?
I think I came away with about 3 of them, I think.
Right, yeah. I was going to ask, like, how were you academically in school? Like, what friend groups were you in, and did that friend group influence the results you got, sort of thing? Were you a naughty boy?
Right. So I was seeing primary school. I was always primary schools 5 to 12. I was always like pretty up. Like, I'd always be the smartest in the class, or the second grade smartest. Yeah. And then got to like 13. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my mum volleyed me in the face or something, but I just wasn't as smart when we got to high school. My attention span went as soon as we went to high school.
Did it?
Like, I just couldn't concentrate at all.
Was that because of your mates?
Not really. I don't think.
Did you have any mates?
I had a few.
Nice.
Yeah. No. So my friend group in school, there was like 5 of us. 2 of us were pretty smart, and the others definitely weren't. And they're not going to listen to this, but if they did, I think they can agree. Like, they'd be doing what we called in 1 maths, and that was like you'd in 1, in 2, and then hires, and they for 4 years in a row couldn't pass in 1 maths.
Right.
And they used to try to convince me that it was the hardest course, like the hardest maths course, even though like we used to do prelims for in 1 just to double check in case we couldn't pass in 2, and like everyone would get an A and then 2 class for in 1. Right. So but they failed it for like 4 years in a row.
And it is not hard.
No, it's like literally Pythagoras, mate. That's it.
Pythagoras is
I couldn't
are you watching? Sure.
I couldn't do Pythagoras now, but you know what I mean. It was like really, really simple. So yeah, they could not pass that for like 4 years in a row.
So then, so did you know then during secondary school that you're like, nah, uni isn't, I'm not doing uni, like,
yeah. I think in 5th year, so when I was like 16, 17, we went to like the uni open days and stuff, and I just looked at what you had to get, and it's just like, I would have just went to uni to get pissed like every weekend. That's all. Like that's the only reason I would have wanted to go. I reckon I don't
fair
think
enough reason.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to get a degree. I wouldn't have been able to put my head down. I know for a fact, like I know I can't do it. Even if someone puts me in that type of setting now, we are in the classroom reading or like someone talking, I can't listen to them unless I'm really interested in whatever they're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, I can agree with that. Like, obviously, doing what we both do now, I didn't need to spend. I don't need to be 30 grand in debt.
Yeah.
But I am. Well, but you don't really see it as debt, even though technically you're in debt.
The uni debt's different here, isn't it? It's like,
but you still have to pay it back. But yeah. So looking back, you can be like, you're probably happy you didn't.
Yeah, 100%. My dad was always pushing me to leave school because I was clearly just not. But I also didn't want to leave because I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. So I just stayed in school. Pretty much stayed because we had a prom. There's a reoccurring theme. I pretty much done whatever was going to let me go out.
There's a sesh.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what you also think was, so you were an only child. Not a lonely
You've done that before, haven't you?
An only child.
Do you think, you used to think it meant lonely, did you not? No?
Nah.
I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation
Yeah, I've definitely
before.
said lonely a few times.
Yeah, I'm an only child yet.
I suppose you can be a lonely only child, but you can be a very happy, bubbly, only
I wasn't
child.
depressed.
Not even when you're 6 months on your calorie deficit.
Well, yeah.
On a
Yeah, no, definitely. Bit of depression kicks in after the old deficit for a while, but but yeah, I'm an only child, yes.
Yes, but like, did that, because obviously for me, for example, I had an older brother and sister, so like there was no question whatsoever that I was going to uni, and I was like getting a job.
So my mum and dad broke up when I was 4 and I lived with my mum. I reckon if I lived with my dad, there's a chance I would have went to uni.
See.
So my mum, like, I used to not go to school, and my mum I'd just be like,
didn't care.
Yeah, just like, no, genuinely, because I'd just be like to my mum, I'm not going to school, and she'd be like, sound. Whereas my dad would have fucking kicked me up the arse and told me to go. My dad out of all of my dad's side of the family, so my dad got like 6 hires and stuff, and he got into uni but he never went, but he's the only one out of everyone that did. The rest of them didn't really. My dad was so like driven that way, so he would have done that for me, but I live with my mum, so I got away with murder.
But that's so interesting, like because you hear so many successful people, self-employed people who don't have a real job, came from families where they had no pressure on them, so technically they had really rough childhoods and stuff, like, but it shaped them to be like completely self-sufficient because they had to. They didn't have someone shouting at them. Like, there's pros and cons to both, but like, it is interesting that you are where you are now from not going to uni, from technically not.
Well, I think a lot of when I moved in with my dad when I was 18, and I hated every job I had, and I know I've skipped a little bit, but I reckon how much my dad didn't want me to go self-employed made me do it more.
Sorry, say that last bit again.
So my dad didn't want me to do freestyle for a living. Like, he was so against it, but that made me want to do it more as well. Yep. Yeah. Like, he was not like, go try kick a football up and down for money.
I suppose that came from maybe you never had pressure from your mum, so then when your dad started remotely pressuring you, you're like, nah, this is not how I was brought up.
Maybe. Should probably go to a counsellor for all of that and see what they say.
But yeah, so you have a very, very close relationship with your dad now.
Yeah, definitely.
And is he fully supportive?
He's fully backs this, Like, since so when I went to Australia for 2 years, we'll obviously touch on that after. But when I came back, like the first day I got back, it wasn't like I was like, I've got jet lag or anything. I literally had my phone or whatever out and was making content straight away. And like, I'd already had like 2 or 3 clients that were my mates for free. I think you were probably one of them. When I first came back, and like that was what I was doing. And I think after a week, I probably put, like, when I was first back, probably done like a 70-hour a week, and he was like, right, he's fucking serious about this. Like, Whereas when I was telling him I was going to do it, when I was come back, I've probably told my dad like 40 different things that I'm going to do in my life. And he was like, oh, he's just talking shite again. Like, he's probably just sitting on the other end of the phone like, here we go again, Gavin's fucking off on one again, this will last like 3 months. But I think he's seen when I came back I was actually serious about it.
Yeah. Because also that's the best way to show it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So like, okay, let's go back. So you've done your hires, you've no plans to go to uni, and then so what do you do straight after school? What's your
got a job in a factory.
doing what?
Anyone that's Scottish will know exactly what I'm talking about, but I used to work on a Tunnocks tea cake line. Literally, yeah, you know the red foil thing?
Yep.
Yeah, so I used to pack them. It was just me and a bunch of 40 to 60 year old women.
Who follow you on TikTok?
Yeah, probably. 8 till 3, Monday to Friday. Absolutely torture. Horrendous. But I actually done one before that, so I worked in another factory. Tunnocks wasn't as bad, but I done another factory for about 2 months, and that was full on torture.
So minimum wage vibes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I was like, minimum wage for 18-year-old was like £5 say at the time, and I was on like 7, I think, because it was like minimum above 21.
Right.
I was on, so I was actually getting more than what other people were getting. But
it was hell.
Yeah, but it was absolutely horrendous. Yeah, and my dad again forced me to do that.
Right.
Like, I was like, I'd been maybe left school for a month, still didn't have a job, and he took me down to like an agency and just literally forced me to go in. And I remember I was like, any jobs?
Yeah, and they're like factory, dishwasher.
Yeah, so fucked me right in a factory, packing tea cakes. Yeah.
And then, so we do have to get into freestyle, but there's probably a crossover of like, obviously you.
Yeah.
What age did you get into freestyle? Like,
so I was freestyling all the way through school, but I never told, like, so I would practice. But I took it more seriously when I was 16. So I started freestyle football, by the way, is doing tricks with a football, and that's how me and Jamie met. Jamie still does that as his full-time job, and I done it maybe until about 3 years ago. I stopped doing it as my job, and yeah, I started when I was 13. And I don't know about you, but I never really. I think I had a few videos on YouTube, but I never told anyone in school that I'd done it until I was about 17.
We'll come remember actually.
I was really embarrassed about it, and cause I was quite what
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was so embarrassed about it, mate. And I was still playing football at the time, so like my football teams and stuff would know I was doing it, but I was still playing football, and I was still heavily interested in playing football. And then I quit when I was about 17, and all the way when I was doing shit jobs. So I done like the factory job, then I moved to a pharmacy, which was horrendous, and then I was selling phones and free mobile as well.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was up until quite recent.
Yeah, I think I was 20 when I done that, so like 5 years ago. But all the way through those jobs, I was taking. So when I left school, I was freestyling a lot. Like I was practicing a lot. So I was doing 40-hour-a-week jobs, but everything else was revolved around freestyle.
But like you were just doing freestyle though for the fun of it. It was never.
Yeah. Well, I think more when I got to like the free shop and stuff, I was actually like trying to make money from it. So I think maybe when I got to about 20, and I'd left school for about 2 years, I was like, I'm gonna try and make money from this. So yeah, like 17 to 20, it was like fun.
So you're sort of doing both. You were like doing the grind, like dirty work, but you're also sort of starting to see a bit of potential maybe in freestyle. So that would have been what was the main way you're making money then from freestyle?
So I remember my first job, I was still working in that pharmacy. I actually done it for free. It was like a half-time show at Hibs, and I knew from a competition, I knew like the marketing director at Hibs, and I just asked him if I could do a free show as long as he gets loads of good pictures for it. So I was going to use it for marketing. Yeah. And yeah, that was the first show I done. Then I think I got paid like £50 to perform at some festival with one of our friends, David Mckinney. And then from there, it was just like random jobs. Like I think I got a JD job, like performing for JD for £150 for 8 hours.
Good jobs, like
8 hours of kicking a ball up and down. But yeah, that's when it's like I just started trickling in, getting little jobs here and there, and then I would just put more and more effort into it, and as I was putting more and more effort in it, my dad was being like, career, and I was being like,
you're like, Dad, look at this, it's 11s around the world. That's a double around the world, by the way. I remember like I did my first one. I got my mum and dad in like to the back garden to see it. My dad just looked at me like, he's like, you're 16, you better not be a virgin. You're giving me all the signs you are.
Yeah, my dad was the same. Like I would sit and kick a ball up and down in front of his van out the front. You could just tell he was just disappointed watching me. Do you know what I mean?
Dad, it's 11s. I'll turn a Mitchie.
Yeah. Like, how much money's in your bank account? 10 quid. Fuck off.
Can I have 15 quid to go out tonight?
Pretty much. That's what it was like.
But yeah, no, good times. So like, freestyle for me as well is still a huge part of my life. I was a huge part of your life. Like, so how initially did you get into freestyle? What inspired you? Like,
so cause I was playing football all the time, I used to just watch videos of like Ronaldinho and stuff. And then I used to just try copy what they were doing, and then eventually I could do a few tricks, and I just kept watching stuff, and like I never meant it. I never knew that's what I was doing. Like I was just spending more and more time learning these fucking tricks in my back garden like a little freak. And just over time, like I found out it was an actual sport. I thought I was just passing time, like playing football. I was still considering myself playing football, except I was learning these tricks. And then eventually I think I just started like talking to people on like MSN or whatever it was then.
Beyond football.
Yeah. And I started talking to people on there, and like I realised there was an actual like it's like dancing into it. Like there's a community. So like people
especially back then. Like.
People all would just to meet each other and like go train together and stuff. So that's how I got into it. And once I met like 2 or 3 people that were doing it as well, I think I got pretty hooked on it. And I used to, even when I was doing all those like the pharmacy job and the factory job, I used to like go down to London and meet a load of people and practice freestyle. And I used to like honestly would spend all my money fucking off to like Denmark to go meet other people that were doing it and stuff like that. I used to spend all my money on just doing stuff related to freestyle. Do
you remember your first freestyle meet? What was that?
I think it was meeting Corinne, who's still...
Was it Corinne?
Yeah, it's still one of my best mates to today, which would be like 10 years ago now, which is fucking nuts when you think about it. Yeah, he just came to my house. We kicked the ball up and down.
A stranger.
And then he left.
It's just so strange. You probably found it the same, trying to explain to your family. Like my first meet was done in Dublin, meeting Daniel Dennehy, Conor Reynolds and all. And I was literally like, Mum, I'm going to get on a train tomorrow that you're paying for to meet 15 random 18 to 25 year olds to kick a football, but
in the middle of the street as well, in front of people.
I'm coming with you. And then we argued, and I went by myself. But it's like your family are like, your dad again. It's like, fuck's sake,
when is he going to get a bird?
I was on my 6th bird by this point, mate. These 6 around the worlds. But it does sum up how good in a way the community was, especially back then. And it's just strange. To everyone else is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's loads of different things that I took away from freestyle that I would have never got if I just stayed down doing random jobs. Like, I think we do actually take for granted how many different cultures we got shown. Although when we went to these meets, we'd mostly hang about with the UK and Irish lot.
Yeah, no one can understand this. Like,
yeah, we had this tough time with like the Mexicans and stuff.
Generally tough.
Yeah, generally like
you get tired.
Generally as in like they don't know what you're saying ever. Especially when you've had 18 pints.
Yeah, it's like they do a cool trick. Oh, well done, mate. What do you say? Well done, mate. What? Then they call over their fucking Czech comrades like, what is this? I'm like, God fucking hell.
What is this language? Is it Arabic?
Well done, mate.
Yeah,
but shit, man.
we did get exposed to a load of different cultures.
Yeah,
like some of the Europeans could understand us, so we met the French and all that.
Yeah.
Some of them were funny as fuck. See, because freestyle is such a weird sport, you did meet quite a lot of like eccentric people. So you did meet a few interesting people, a few fucking literal freaks, but a few interesting people as well. Like mix of both. Mix of never talk to me ever again, and a mix of he's fucking interesting, isn't
he? Yeah. But it's funny, like me and you, they get the reputation of like, which I fucking is cool, like the fucking like the sessions, like out of mate or out of competition, like for the after party, people will come up to us and be like, lads, where's where's the after party tonight? We're like, we got knocked out first round. We've booked the place. Yeah, sweet. Don't worry, lads. It's alright. Yeah, pints.
Yeah,
that's us.
Just ask for my location on WhatsApp. I'll give you it. That'll be us. Yeah, no, it's because as well. I think me and you definitely, although like we done freestyle and stuff, we always had social groups in school, and we always went out all the time, and like we never ostracized ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
You look at me for giving you the green light.
Yeah, is that a word?
It sounds like something in the zoo. An ostrich. Ostracized. I can't even say it.
Right. Anyway, I think a lot of people that done freestyle would maybe like, if their friends and stuff were going out, they'd be like, no, I'm gonna do freestyle because that's like, as in they were taking training seriously and stuff. Would maybe like not go out and stuff, whereas me and you would just train hungover or bus hungover,
especially at meets.
Yeah,
fuck it, like
no, but even like we had proper social groups where we always went out, so that when we went to these competitions and stuff, that's what we done there as well. Yeah. Whereas we'd get knocked out, then we go out
and get knocked out again,
and then we do the competition the next day, whatever the next one was. Not get past the first round. Well, you used to do well. You used to do quite well, but I didn't. I used to get knocked out and just go on it.
Yeah, that was the worst. The better you got, the more nice out you started missing.
Yeah, I'd get knocked out before you start drinking. Then you get knocked out, and I'd be literally like, you'd be about to go on, I'd be like holding the pint, like, you're probably getting knocked out here, Jamie. Here it is. It's waiting for you.
And then the next 5 days, you just do right off.
Yeah, pretty much.
But good memories though from freestyle.
Definitely. Yeah.
What would be your weirdest memory, like off the top of your head?
Of jobs or like
jobs? Maybe the jobs first. Maybe. Because if you think about it, pretty much every job is weird because we do keep you uppies, like. But
yeah. Jobs wise, doing that one in front of Prince Harry was weird because
surreal.
Yeah, well, not really, mate. Because because
Sports Celtic. What? Is that what you're getting? No. So I just ostracized that, mate.
No.
Okay, what?
No, because a lot of the times in freestyle you had to, typical influencery shit, that's what I didn't like about a lot of it. You had to make things look way better than what they were. So realistically, I've put up a picture, like I knew I was going to get a picture with them. I basically, they wanted me to do it for free, and I basically said, I'm not going up to Aberdeen for free unless I'm definitely getting a picture with Prince Harry so that I'm going to get something out of it. If I'm doing it for free, I'm going to have to get something for marketing so I can get jobs after it. So I knew I was getting a picture with him. I got there and all I was doing was basically teaching some kids how to put the ball in their neck, and then when he came round I showed him a few tricks for literally like 10 seconds. And then he had like 1 million cameras around him, and then he was on to whatever the next thing they were showing him was, and then I had to make it out like I really did a big performance in front of him and stuff, which is but like, well, I would tell people that back then, but now I don't really give a fuck. Like I've done that for marketing.
But you still did a few tricks in front of him.
I still met. I actually spoke to him after, because I basically said, you need to guarantee me a picture with him or I'm not coming up, because they were really pushing me to come up, and I was like, I'm not coming up. I'm not going to Aberdeen. I don't like going to Aberdeen. I can't understand what they're saying. I'm not going up to fucking stand near Prince Harry. And then got a picture with him. And the worst part was, I'd been out. I don't know. We'll maybe just get some things out on the podcast, but I'd been out and I had a massive fucking hickey on my neck. At like literally happened like 2 days before as well, and I was fucking fuming. Like I was so annoyed.
Did he see it?
No, because I wore a Scotland tracksuit. That was the only thing I owned that could cover it up. So yeah,
I think he would have found that funny. Like.
Yeah, he probably, known him what he's like now, I'd have probably just been like, show him.
He'd be like, maybe this.
Yeah, I hate stuff like that in general, but it's maybe happened to me a few times, and obviously
getting hickeys.
Yeah, like and getting a hickey just before you're about to meet someone from the royal family, I was fucking fuming. Like.
On hickeys, what's your worst ever? That is pretty mad. On you mentioned something quite important there. Like me and you have both been really good at that. Even if the money shit, maximizing the most out of each
Getting something out
opportunity.
of it.
Like seeing an opportunity, being like, you know what, Prince Harry website,
Yeah.
few
And that
birds like it on
genuinely,
Insta.
I made no money from that event, but I definitely made money just from having the picture. Even if it wasn't directly someone going, did you perform in front of Prince Harry, we have this event, it just made me look more appealing if my website had a picture of me and Prince Harry on it.
Yep.
Like,
On it
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 100%.
How many likes did you get on Insta? That,
Quite a lot.
that was probably in the thick of your / my Instagram addiction
Yeah,
days.
we've went through. We'll probably go through that at one point, but we've had serious addictions to social media.
Yeah.
I say that we still do. We are still utterly obsessed.
Yeah, but I don't think at the level. Even yeah,
It
John,
used to be all we talked about
when do you think you were most addicted? I'm basically talking about we, but you.
when we went traveling around Europe. Definitely, we used to.
So
We
should we
used to
touch on
have. Yeah, we used to. We went traveling around Europe for about 3 or 4 weeks busking. But we used to have full on conversations for like, we'd have like a 9-hour train from like Hungary to Poland. We would talk about Instagram the full time. We would talk about all our strategies to get new followers and shit. And we didn't, being serious though, we didn't give a fuck about the amount of followers. We gave a fuck about how much that could help make money, basically.
And how
get our
many
career
birds were liking our
Yeah.
photos.
Pretty much. Yeah, so we would we would we would look at our likes and then look at how many fit birds liked. That's shocking.
But if that person that showed past it would be like,
Yeah, we wouldn't talk to them.
Back
Wouldn't
then.
hear them. But you like my Instagram picture, which is all that mattered.
but like, in a weird way, you're so good at TikTok now from having that addiction, like, or that being.
Yeah,
there's good things to come out of it.
I always say it as well. Like, sometimes PTs will maybe say, how have you got your business off the ground so quick? And I'll be like, I had a head start social media wise compared to like someone who's worked on the gym floor for 3 years and then starts social media, whereas I had 3 years of social media experience. And I could, like, if you look back at my first fitness videos, they're awful, but I was a bit rusty and then I picked up pretty fast.
You see what
Like, I've
works.
spoke to the camera a million times. Do you know what I mean?
Like, we will go on to that. But just to finish up with the freestyle bit, on more of like maybe a business sense, like what were the main pros and cons you think of being a professional freestyler? At what point were you like, nah, you know what, I can't see a longevity in it?
For me, so like our main sources of income, well, yours is a bit different from what mine was, but it was mostly that was proper Glaswegian there. I was mostly doing performances in front of people, mostly events. So working for JD whenever they opened a new shop, doing shows, trying to get people in the shop, or like football and events. Done a little bit of teaching kids how to do it, but I never realised that I actually didn't mind doing it. I just had this preconceived notion in my head that I was gonna hate it, so I never really went down that path. But yeah, it was a bit too. We could have months in summer you make 4 or 5 grand, and then January you make 2 quid that you found on the street. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't like about it. Like, and I wasn't any good at, because I wasn't paying rent. I was terrible with my money. So whenever I made a lot of money, it sounds good making like 4 grand, but see if the money comes in, like the money would come in drifts and drafts. You would have to chase. Sometimes you wouldn't get paid for 6 months off of someone, and you'd have to constantly chase them up. So yeah, like loads of the time you would be skint, and then when money eventually did come in, you wouldn't really know how to. You would probably like have loads of stuff coming out, and I wouldn't really know how to manage my money. So I felt like I was constantly chasing security, and I just couldn't get it.
Yep.
And also towards the end, I did feel a bit like I was a glorified kids entertainer with some of the jobs I was doing, like just going to like fun days and stuff. And until we done quite a lot of workshops, I wasn't as good with dealing with kids, because I realised over time that it's better just to teach kids and just put on workshops than do a show and then like do something after. So after we started doing the workshops, I would start then, if I had a show with kids, then just doing a workshop after.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense. Like a lot of freestylers, to be fair, it's like, it sounds like you had all those glory years of just freestyle is the funnest sport ever, like going to competitions, doing it for the love of it, and then as soon as you know it's your job, it's quite common for that to suck all the fucking enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're like, I'm 22, I don't even enjoy the sport anymore because to find that happened.
Yeah, I was definitely falling out of love with it, and like the more money I was making, I was actually like I never trained or anything. The more money I was making, I didn't enjoy it at all. Yeah, I was just kind of craving something else, but I didn't know what that was. Like,
so then was that the initial thing that inspired you to go traveling?
Yeah,
and like what was
so
that
like I always
transition?
wanted to travel, but I always imagined I would travel with like something to do with freestyle. But then like I think it was the start of 2017 or the end of 2016. I was training really hard, but I just wasn't enjoying it. I couldn't really see where I was gonna go with it either.
Yeah. You tried YouTube, didn't you?
Yeah, and I didn't like doing it because again, like, I was appealing to kids, and that's what was doing my head in. Like, see, not being able to swear and stuff like that. Like, even though I did still swear, but then like I'd go do a job for EE, and they were like, I watched your vlog the other day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I fucking probably said cunt in it like 30 times. Delete. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't like that aspect of it, like just appealing to kids. That was starting to get to me a bit. And yeah, so start of 2017, I was training really hard, but I was like, I'm never going to be anywhere near as good as the top guys. Like, it's just not going to happen. And then, so I'm not going to win any competitions. By then as well, I was like, what do you really get for winning a competition? You can still be skint. And I'm getting to like 22, 23. I was like, some of these top guys, I know they love the sport and all that, but they still live with their parents. And I was just like, that's just not... I was like, there's just no way that I'm living at home at 27. Like, no way.
Yeah, and I think also because you're lived in Glasgow, like if you, the only place honestly to do it is London. Yeah. Like if you planted yourself in here and had rent to pay, you might have been able to snake an avenue. Yeah. But would it be a better avenue than you're on now? Doubt it in a way.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it pretty much, and then I wasn't really liking training anymore, and then I always had an idea in my head that the only thing I wanted to do was go to Thailand. Didn't know anything about Asia. I was just like, I'm gonna go to Thailand, and then I eventually did. Like,
sick time.
Yeah.
How long were you in such a stage?
2 months.
2 months.
Landed
just
in Bangkok.
On the
just full on to like I didn't do the whole like I'm gonna wait go as long as I can. I was like, I'm gonna go until I've got no money. So I was literally like, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna have a good time and go back when I'm got no money, or go back when I've put $2,000 on my credit card. More like.
But yeah, you met some sick people out there, and definitely you came back with a better mindset. Do you think, or more?
Oh, I don't know.
Fulfilled? You found yourself, man?
Nah, I don't know. It took me about 2 months to recover from coming back, as in like the amount of money I'd spent as well. I now didn't have a job, and I didn't really do freestyle, so I wouldn't say I came back in a better place from Asia or whatever, but I still wanted to. It made me realise that I just didn't want to be in Glasgow that long. I was like, so I worked for 6 months in a pub, and the reason I chose, and I only worked like 12 hours a week. The reason I chose a pub was because I'd already decided that I wanted to go to Australia, and I knew hospitality and construction were the two main jobs that people got there. I was like, I'm very bad at DIY, so I'll pour pints. And I'm better at talking to people than I am fucking building shit. So
it's great, for social skills. Getting to know people, chatting.
And I thought if I went hospitality in Australia, I'd be easier to meet people, and it was like that part like worked out well.
So you did 6 months in the pub, and then you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I was doing.
Gonna go Oz.
Luckily, when I came back, we got quite a lot of freestyle work.
Did we? What was that?
We went to Ukraine and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I think we got a few other things.
Yeah.
You maybe got me a few things. And then you started the schools business as well.
Gave you most of the ones they could do.
Yeah, so I made a decent amount of money from freestyle during the summer. I think I only worked in that pub actually for about 3.5 months. And then July came and I had about $3,000 worth of freestyle work, and I was like, see you later, mate. I booked the flight and I'm off.
Yeah, and then so tell me through Australia, like probably I reckon from an outsider, your time in Oz is the fucking like biggest thing you've done in your life in terms of the give you the platform, the social platform, the confidence almost, to be like, this is what I want to do. Tell me through that.
Cause I never went to uni, I never really had that whole uni social experience. Obviously I went out and stuff, but like, see when you go to uni, you're meeting new people all the time and getting in new social groups, going to new parties. Whereas when I was going out with the same people. So I suppose I've met people from work and stuff, but I never really got that whole, like, obviously to Asia I met new people, but I just never had that whole experience. And I feel like Australia gave me that because you set up in a hostel for 10 days, met loads of people, then got a job, met loads of people there, then went out quite a lot and just got introduced to loads of people. And because everyone's from back home, everyone else is wanting to meet new people, so it was a really social sort of thing. And yeah, I think I got what I would have got out of uni, aka I wouldn't have got a degree, I'd have just had the social life. Got that out of going to Australia.
You didn't have to go to uni.
And cause I was working in a bar and serving people, and I liked who I worked with, I got better at talking to people, definitely.
Yeah.
Because even the freestyle work, I used to be nervous going for like, if I had to talk to new potential clients and stuff, I still get nervous, whereas I don't think I would now. I just feel like, fuck it, or like, whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Freestyle can almost be quite lonely sometimes.
You might, I
you're like talking to a 6-year-old, like, hello, and he's like, hello.
And when you're like quiet and you don't do a job for 4 weeks, you're so rusty at talking to people. When you go on an event, you're like,
I remember like when I lived with my ex-housemates, Hugh and Jack, Glabby in the house all day by myself. Hugh comes home finally, I'm like, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like you would have costed to get a coffee, you're like, get a latte. And then the next sentence is fine, but because you fucked up the first sentence, they're like, you're a fucking freak, mate.
Yeah. So I found that with freestyle, because I'd go so long without work, my social skills would go out the fucking window. Whereas bartending, like, on another tangent, honestly, I reckon, depending on your personality, obviously, but out of all the, like, I don't want to say shit jobs, but as in like jobs that aren't like
real jobs.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a real job, but as in it's not like a grad job or a career, or you're not a lawyer. You're either call centre, fucking like tradie labourer, or bartender, that sort of entry level thing where you can just say, can I get a job, and their chances are they'll give you one without any experience. Out of all those jobs, I think if you want to work on social skills and you're quite like a sociable person, then bartending is the best job you can get. Obviously, you need to get a good bar where you're serving people, because you can get a quiet one that's not going to do it. Just don't talk to anyone.
My social skills are fucking sweet.
Do you want a pint, mate? There's nobody here. But yeah, if you get yourself in a big bar with loads of people like that are around your age, then that's the best social circle you can get, I think, outside of uni. So that was your best job. Let's talk about your worst job there when you're in. So you then went to Sydney, wasn't it? After Melbourne. Yeah, so I had a few terrible jobs in Melbourne as well, because I've done two.
You getting a bird in? Just see what happens.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. Well, so you went to Sydney, got a bird.
You went to is that why you went? Nah.
No, I met her there. Yeah, so Melbourne had plenty of shit jobs as well, but I done two main jobs that were bartending, and then like I'd done things in between. Like one time I tried to sell paintball tickets on the street.
Commission.
Last 3 days, lost money. Yeah, commission only, but you had to pay to be in the shopping centres, and obviously I wasn't that good at selling paintball tickets, so I actually lost money doing that. I'd done like a painting job where I was literally painting with the most perverted outback Australian ever. I say outback basically means like in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, it was extremely perverted. But he was actually from Melbourne, but he was an absolute freak, and like it used to just be me and him painting, and he would like, we'd go in the bedroom and
so he's a pervert.
Yeah, we'd go in the bedroom, right? The mattress would be against the wall, and he'd push the mattress so it smacked off the floor, and he'd go like that, let me spank you on there, and then he'd like laugh like uncontrollably, and I'd be like, hey, just give me my money, please.
What do you say to that?
Like I literally used to say nothing to him. He used to take me. No, he used to always talk about his ex-wife all the time. One of those. Yes. But so he would take me.
I loved her.
I loved her. Do you see when I put that on one of my TikToks? Yeah. So he used to take me out for lunch and all that all the time, and he'd always go, "You're really quiet," because I just wouldn't say anything to him, because I needed the money as well. So I didn't have enough. Like rent was coming, I only had like 500 quid in my bank.
This sounds horrific.
Yeah. So I had to paint with this perverted bastard, otherwise I couldn't pay my rent. And he never paid me and stuff. Like, he was paying me cash in hand, and he's basically so he was sniffing all the money on like, he was taking gear.
Wow.
Like, one time he took me from lunch back to the house we were painting, aka where I was getting pumped, and he was like, do you want a bit? And I was like, no, I didn't even look at what he was doing. And then he took out a bag of gear, put it on a CD
like
disc
during the day.
Yeah,
like,
during the day,
work?
in front of, it's called Fifth Province in Melbourne. Anyone that lives in Melbourne will know what I'm talking about. In St Kilda, a big Irish pub. People, I would definitely have known people. It was a Friday. I was like 1 p.m. I would have known people in that bar,
Right.
and he done it at the traffic lights. Done a big line off the CD case, and I was just like, oh my god, mate, what the fuck? And I knew he owed me like $1,000 at that point as well, like 500 quid worth,
So
£500
like a
he would owed
prison
me.
sentence.
Yeah, so done shit like that. But yeah, anyway,
That's brutal.
that was Melbourne. Then done another bar job, loved that, and then I moved to Sydney, and that is where I got the worst job in the world. And a bird.
Yeah, so talk us through the call center. Can we should we do a reenactment?
Of what?
So I'm the customer calling your call center, and I want a real life how you responded.
Right. Yeah,
So what
but
do
you
they
don't
sound?
really know
Yeah,
what
no, tell
is
me
going
about
on. So
It's a bad idea.
yeah, because you don't know how the conversation goes. How are you gonna do it?
Alright, fuck it, we're not doing
Yeah,
that.
no, we'll do it right. So, will we do it? How are we gonna do this?
Nah,
Uh,
I've ruined your interview.
Nah. So it was a stock registry. So we were dealing with people's stocks, telling them how much money they had, and if they were getting a dividends payment, we would know how much they were gonna get, and that was where we would change like their address or their bank details or something. Yeah, like horrendous, hideous, boring fucking shit. But it was set up in a way that they had to know a certain reference number, and they had to be able to call it, and then they had to answer like 2 questions. Basically, half the people wouldn't know what the reference number was, and then would just shout at you because you wouldn't tell them anything, but you legally weren't allowed to tell them anything. Then the other half was like walking old people through how to get in a website. So literally telling them to change their address, then remember what their address, change their password, then remember their new password, which is actually pretty difficult to try to explain to an 8-year-old. Stacey, sorry, there's no 8-year-olds Aussie Stacey's. Cassandra.
Wait,
See
there's no 80-year-olds called Stacey, so all the Stacey's when they're 79, it's like, right, change my name.
Anyway,
Matilda.
Cassandra, right? The password you just recreated is the one you just enter. Doesn't really work. And then, obviously, because you've got a different accent, are you in the Philippines? Does it sound like I'm in the Philippines? I'm in Sydney. But yeah,
sounds brutal.
Stuff like that. And it would just be constant. The longer you stayed in the call centre, the more lines they put you on. So the less time you had between in calls. So every week just got progressively worse. Do you know what I mean?
We talking 9 to 5? Straight.
Yeah, like either 8 till 4, 9 till 5, or 10 till 6. They changed it, but there was basically 8 of us that were on visas, and then the rest of it was all Aussies, and they were all like, mate, genuinely, people used to sit in front of me, and they used to sit like this whilst on the phone, and would just be like, literally, fuck this, and like people would be banging the desk and stuff. It was so frustrating. Like,
so, right.
Then I got bored.
Yeah.
Yes.
So were you? Let's just slowly delve into the PTN. And so during all these shit jobs, had you already sort of in the back of your mind been like,
So I already knew I was going to be a PT.
and is that from what made you?
That's
click in your
interesting.
head?
Yeah. So when I first moved to Melbourne, I moved in with a boy from Southern Ireland and a boy from Belfast, and they both, and the boy from Belfast, Bird. So she's listening to this. I've mentioned you, right? So the Southern Irish boy was a PT, moved over, and the other boy was really interested.
Jamie?
Really interested in the gym. Michael, who's,
Yeah.
if anyone watches my stuff, probably knows who Michael is. And we were all we done was talk about the gym and go to the gym. Before I went there, I'd for the first time tracked my food. I'd been going to the gym loads. I'd basically sacked off freestyle, and I was interested in the gym.
So sorry, how did you get that? How did you start doing that? What?
Tracking my food.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just one time
Really?
was like, I'm just gonna
With
actually,
no like inspiration or anything. Just
because I just booked my flight to Australia.
right.
I was like, I'm
Okay.
actually gonna like, I gave
Try
me,
and get a bit of
get in decent shape. So yeah, 2 months, and I tracked my food and stuff, and I made quite a lot of progress. And then when I moved in with them too, they were obviously on that hype as well. So they all tracked their food and went to the gym 4 times a week or whatever. So yeah, me and Michael used to just talk, because Michael was pretty like wanting to. Michael's one of my good mates who's also a PT. He was also wanting to like do his own thing as well. So we were always talking about fitness and like businesses and stuff. And then one time we just had a conversation, and I was like, I didn't know if I was going to be a PT, but I knew I wanted to do something in fitness or nutrition, basically. And we just had conversations, and one time we just looked at each other. I was like, he was like, I'm going to go back to Belfast and be a PT, and he'd done that a year before I did. So like when he went back and was like, I'm going to be a PT, I already knew I was as well. I just wasn't ready to come home yet. So for about a year and a half before I started it, I knew I was going to do it.
That's sick.
And I never knew what I wanted to do before I went to Australia, and then within about 4 or 5 months I knew what I wanted to do.
That is sick. It's quite cool. You almost looked at each other and you're like, light bulb moment.
Yeah,
almost.
Genuinely was.
It's interesting how
he says he can't remember this conversation when I bring it up to him, but he's just being a melt. We definitely had it, and I definitely didn't make it up.
That's bloody interesting. And basically like the main reason you even had that conversation is from having the balls to fucking go travelling
and meet new people. Meet new people is the biggest thing I think.
So that just shows, like, because we always get asked like, oh, what's your advice for people who want to fucking
do their own thing,
find their passions?
Yeah,
like you can't, it doesn't come to you. Like
you need to try new shit.
Yeah,
and like very important, I think I can say, see if I didn't move in with them too and I moved into just a full on session house, I think I think I could have went a different path, because I'm very capable of going down that path as well. You know what I mean? So well, I suppose
session.
Yeah, so I think it's very important that it's who I met as well, like your environment definitely helped. Like
that's it. So I suppose almost maybe the last 6 months of Australia, you're probably just like,
I was saving,
or like an itching just to get back.
Yeah, so I was so when I was doing that call centre, I was saving money. I wasn't really doing anything. I was listening to podcasts quite a lot. I was still learning all the time, but I'd been doing that anyway. When I was in Melbourne, I wrote a few blogs. Sorry, we had a few technical difficulties there. We thought there was a song playing. It's all good. But yeah, the full time I was doing that call centre job in Sydney, I loved Sydney. Like I would 100% go back. But see, because I was doing that shitty job, I couldn't really enjoy myself that much. I kind of, not that I have regrets about it, but like it was hard to enjoy it when I wanted to do this and I really hated my job. I did enjoy it. Like I loved every second of not being in that call centre. See, everything else about my life in Sydney, I loved it, but not the call centre was torture. So in that respect, I knew that I knew that my visa was coming to an end, and I knew that I wanted to do this, so I couldn't get focused on like loving Australia, because I knew it was going to end, and I knew that I couldn't do a job, and I knew I was coming back to do this. So I fucking love Sydney. If I could choose anywhere to live, it would be there. But there was that like nagging at me, if you know what I mean. I was always in my head. Yep.
Which is good. I suppose that means when you did eventually get back, you're like, whoo! You're like,
elite,
full throttle.
Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much was, like, for the full time I came back. Just
flat out. No, you were, to be fair. Head straight up.
Head down, arse up, as my dad would say.
Head down, ass up.
That's the way we like to fuck.
That's the way we like to TikTok.
Did you?
Yeah, so you get back and you turn into an absolute workhorse.
Yeah, pretty much.
So talk me through that. Like,
but I did start in Sydney before I came back.
Oh, did you?
Because I got sacked from the call centre a month before I came home. So I was doing, I think for about 3 weeks, I was working in Australia. I didn't have a clue what I was doing though. Like I was just trying to I was trying to start. I didn't, like, I was maybe on Canva trying to make a graphic for about 8 hours. That's the kind of work I was doing when I was there.
Starting shit.
Yeah, just doing something. Didn't know what I was doing, but I'd already started in Australia. So maybe 3 weeks in, I'd started like, okay, this is the kind of content I want to make. Done a little bit of it, and I was just doing Instagram because I didn't have TikTok. But yeah, from the day I got sacked in the call centre, I worked my arse off.
So what was the? So yeah, you said you're doing Instagrams first and stuff. How did you delve into the TikTok world?
Basically, Instagram brought out reels. I posted a reel then you text me saying, mate, if you're gonna make reels, fucking get on TikTok and stop being a gimp. That's maybe not exact. That's maybe not exactly how the conversation went, but yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah. I made a reel which is pretty much TikToks, and you went, you have to post on TikTok, and I was like, nah, I'm not. It's for kids, mate. It's for kids.
I had this random middle of July. I had like an epiphany. I was like, TikTok, fucking flat out on it. I don't know how the fuck it came from.
Well, then I must have posted about 20 videos. After about 20, I still had like 10 followers. I remember none of my first posts got any likes, and they were terrible. And I still to this day do not understand TikTok. Like, I don't understand the trends. When people are dancing, when people are doing all these dances to the same music, and then with the witty captions, I watch it and it goes over my head. I just come on and be like, listen, Stacey, you need to eat less, a wee bit less, you know what I mean? Like, just come on, pull it together. Yeah. I just film myself talking about fucking fitness and nutrition. I don't get I still don't get it.
No.
So like my first 20 videos, though, I was trying to get it. I think I was doing little ones where I was like, did someone else do something like this? Am I going to try change it into fitness? And then I was like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm just going to talk shit.
But you were relentless with it, like, which is good. Yeah. People can give up on it so easy. And
I was posting 3 videos a day for at least like 2 or 3 months, I think. And then they weren't as good as the ones I post now, though. So then I just made one good one a day.
Yeah, because even like up until about 16k, it was sort of like a slow 16k.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you had like a big breakthrough video, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, one video just went fucking nuts, and it took me up to about 60k in like one day, and then got hit 100, and then still 100 to 200 has been pretty slow as well. But I've had issues with it, as everybody knows. So, yeah.
But
it was you that got me on TikTok. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't have been on TikTok, I don't think.
Which is why I'm taking 10% of your money.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I basically you just buy me a pint here and there. Yeah. And in my head I'm like, that's a good deal, fuck no, I'll get a free pint here, that's sweet.
And then every time someone asks me about freestyle, I'm like, please use Jamie.
Yeah, to be fair, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We both itch each other's backs.
We actually do that when we go on holiday.
Can you?
With the sun cream.
Well, put sun cream on each other's back. Everyone does that.
With elf and fucking Christmas hats on, in the middle of fucking outdoor bars, looking like absolute freaks.
In 14 degrees, 11 degrees. Shout out to Shore. Yeah. So obviously your TikTok following is great, but I think what is impressive is a lot of people on TikTok are like, I've got 200,000 followers, and they do nothing with it. So like you've managed to shape it very nicely with your actual PT business. Yeah. So how have you done that? Like,
so I just looked at what everyone else was I looked at some of what everyone else was doing. So they had like forms and stuff where you can apply for coaching. So I took that aspect of it. But then everyone just most PTs just do really fucking salesy Instagram posts and then try sell through their DMs. Whereas I just went, I'm not going to be salesy. I'm going to try make helpful content that does well and shows to loads of people, and then anyone who applies, I'll obviously talk to them. But anyone else, in the start, I used to reply to every message, every comment and stuff, and generally just try help people. I done loads of lives, and my whole thing was just help as many fucking people for free as possible. And anyone that wants coached knows I'm a coach, and there's an application form there. So like, yeah, I done it a bit differently. Like obviously now I get like 10-15 DMs a day, and I don't know, like I've decided not to reply to any of them because I can't, and I like, if I focus
or any of those work or all just birds. Joking. Yeah. But
it's all pretty much most of them are how many calories should I be on, which I don't know the answer for everyone anyway.
So it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and I don't have the time to reply. Like, there's no point in me replying to like 2 or 3 of them a day. Like, I may as well just make content on it. I think, and help more people.
It's very Gary V, and that's what Gary V always preaches. Like, give as much free shit as possible.
Yeah,
think of the long.
And I'll still do free stuff. I just won't be in my DMs about it. Like, I'm going to do free gym plans and stuff. But yeah, that was my thing. It was like, help as many people as possible for free and genuinely help them. Have a
passionate about it.
Yeah, and not be a salesy cunt, which I think most people find themselves doing. Because loads of like the people will go into like these big mentorships and stuff for PTs, and it's literally just sales, mate. It's just sales. That's all it is just sales. It's nothing else. It's not about becoming a better coach or anything. It's about how to convert more leads or generate more leads, aka how to sell more money. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is.
Such a saturated market too. Like if you're just another sales,
but if you come at it differently, I don't think it is. There's not many people doing it well. Like TikTok was so easy, and like Michael came on after me. I told him a million times, go on it. He's like, nah. Now he's got 100,000 followers on it.
Does he?
Yeah. So
taking over me.
So do you know what I mean? Like
it's mental. Like
everyone's so driven to do what everyone else is doing. Maybe just take a step back, come at it from a different angle that no one else is, like from the arse.
Penetrated, mate.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not saturated if you do something else, and there's not many people doing it.
But in a couple of years, that will be saturated.
Yeah,
so
but then
you're leading the way.
Move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, come at me.
But you're
bro.
but that's what I mean. You're sort of leading the way. Anyone on TikTok right now is still in its infancy.
Yeah, I think you got there. Ostracized.
So people are like, oh no, I don't know about TikTok. Like you're still so early to get onto it.
Yeah,
it's still there. Time, it's going to be huge.
Every PT is like, I should get on TikTok. Stop. Like, why? What are you doing, mate? Don't say I should be on TikTok. Just download the app and upload videos. Like,
get a Halo, like,
get a life.
Be in a deficit.
Get a fucking real job, mate. You can't get TikTok.
Get on TikTok, get famous, and get in the podcast, mate.
Sit right here, and we'll buy another mic. We've still not bought
eventually. But I know, like, honestly, from an outsider, like, it's extremely impressive. Like how quickly you've sort of done it too.
Thank you. How
even financially as well.
Gracias.
Like you're doing well. You've basically done 5 years in 6 months.
Yeah, but like
that was where it's like, Jesus Christ.
But that was the pandemic.
Yeah,
and not having a bird.
The global pandemic.
Yeah,
I hate people. Sorry, it's tangent. I hate people who say the global pandemic.
Why?
Pandemics are global. You can't. That's like, you might as well say it's a global epidemic. An epidemic in the country is global. It's a pandemic. But they do it to emphasize it. Hey, we're in a global pandemic. No, we're not. We're not a pandemic. Yeah. Anyway, TikTok.
Right.
Sorry, it's
you're alright.
You want to get that off my chest.
It's alright.
You
look really angry.
Huh? You're very helpful. So where are we? You're minted.
Fuck it.
So it's been a great 6 months. So let's talk about what's your next year goal, and then 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I think over the next year, like, I'm just gonna keep online ticking over, pretty much, and then I'm gonna work in a gym as well. I'm not gonna be so like money focused, as in I want to make a decent amount, but I'm not gonna be like too bothered about it. If I can save a little bit of money here or there, that's fine. 5 years time, I don't know. I'll probably like, I can see myself maybe moving into doing like talks and like maybe having a more automated fitness business that doesn't take as much time to run, and then doing something else, like maybe doing talks or something as well, because I do love fucking social shit, and like I'm sat in here quite a lot, like working on stuff. So I would like to maybe go down that route, and then I'd also maybe like to find a route back to living in Australia at one point, probably. Yeah,
very nice. On this podcast will be taking off.
Oh yeah, that obviously making like a lot of money from this podcast. Yeah. Like we'll be sitting in full on get real job jumpers. There'll be next week there might be a neon sign there.
Guys, stay tuned.
We're thinking about. Oh fuck! I was meant to move that mirror. Oh well, it's there now. I've never seen that.
Huh? Well, are the audience going to be looking at themselves?
Fuck it. If you are, hello.
So, we'll slowly come to an end here, but obviously we want to do as much educational shit as we can. So let's get into what advice do you have for? Let's even talk with TikTok. There's probably a lot of people watching this who are on TikTok. They might be like, should I start a TikTok account and really start posting content? What would your advice be for someone who's just absolutely smashed it?
Well, like if you've got actually got something that you're passionate about, definitely just start posting about it, whatever it is, whatever you're. I sounded like Gary V there. I don't agree with a lot of Gary V, but whatever it is. So say it's fitness, say it's like some sort of coaching or whatever, and start posting on it. Your first few posts, like your first like 30 posts are probably going to be absolutely horrendous.
Yep.
But you only get good at posting by posting. So just start doing it. Post, like make some sort of schedule, buy a whiteboard, got one up there, and just like stick to a schedule and just do it. And like even the days you don't want to do it, it's the exact same as fitness. Do it anyway. Just literally focus on that, and eventually you. So what I think one of my stronger points is when I see something is working, I'll double down on it. Whereas I think some people don't do that. Or like also when I'm seeing things, there's trends in things, like this is sort of working, this isn't working, I'll like more change my content to realise, right, this sort of thing. Like if I swear at the start, or if I make videos about Slimming World, I get clients. Like I do. Everyone's like, stop slagging off Slimming World. I'm like, oh, I got 4 clients, so I'm probably going to do it again. But yeah, generally works. And like, obviously, I'm still trying to provide value. I've not sold out once. All my content is still providing helpful content. So I won't slag off Slimming World and have no videos following up about like what you should do instead. So yeah, just generally post and you'll get better at it. It's a mindset thing as much as anything.
No, I agree. If anything, you just start. Just start.
Stop fucking about.
Stop fucking about.
Stop thinking you're going to be good when you start. Until you start, because it's not going to happen.
Because there's people who are just addicted to scrolling on TikTok. Be the opposite. Stay on TikTok, but just put your time into making the content. Be the person on the other side.
Don't scroll through TikTok. Just refresh your
your likes.
That's all you do every day.
And then not sleep till 3 a.m.
Yeah. Anytime a video goes well, you can't sleep because people are following you and you're just refreshing it. Have we done that quite a lot?
Yeah, I need another wee hit. I haven't had one for a while. So yeah, that's good advice for TikTok. What about just people who don't want to get a real job in general? What would be from your experience? Because like I said,
do you want to talk about people that want to start their own career, or do you want to talk about people that don't know what they want to do?
Maybe.
So I think I've got an answer for both.
Okay, we can start.
Basically, I just made up a question because I'm like, I can fucking smash this answer.
We'll talk about people who just say someone's watching this. They're 22 when you were sort of didn't have a clue what to do. What would your best bit of advice be?
Obviously, traveling isn't for everyone, but definitely put yourself in new environments. Like if you're someone that's still living in your hometown and your mates aren't really up for doing anything different, your mates do the same thing, they don't have any aspirations of doing anything different, you need to realise that that's probably not going to change, and it's you that has to change if you want to do anything else. So like what I found is actually going and meeting new people and getting exposed to new environments, like going to Australia, meeting new people that, like, see, even when I went around Asia, I met loads of people that were like working from a laptop. I didn't really, like, I was just fully getting on it, but I would, like, everyone else that was just getting on it, that didn't, I always had in the back of my head, what am I going to do in my life? So I'd maybe sit and talk to someone for half an hour, mate, what are you doing there? Oh, I've got a blog. I was like, what is that? Can you show me more? Like, I would always be open to talking to people. And like when I was bartending in Australia, a lot of people had like random things on the side as well. And I would always just be, because you can get an idea off of someone. You don't need to copy what they're doing. But
no.
Like, I met online PTs. I served a guy that was when I was in Melbourne, there was an online PT. I sat and spoke to him for 40 minutes because we were dead. Just spoke to him. I was like, how do you get clients and stuff? And he told me, and that maybe
you're like indirectly banking loads of good knowledge.
So meeting different people. Don't stay in your social group that's not getting you anywhere. Like, and if you hate living at home, move. Like, no, I don't mean move out, but like, I mean, if you hate your hometown, go somewhere.
Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
Have self-awareness. Have self-awareness.
You always used to push me. You always say just move to, like, you always be like, move to Liverpool. I'd be like, nah.
Move to Dublin.
Yeah, and then I tried that, didn't I? Yeah, just get out, go somewhere else, expose yourself. Because I generally did find what I want to do.
Don't panic as well. I just think
have fun where we can.
But actually, get loose. Just get out.
I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with getting on it until you're like 24. Well, as in like you can still, like if you don't know what you want to do, as in like having a good time, going to festivals and shit. You could meet someone off your head,
at a festival.
You can be as long as I reckon like 26, 27, you need to sort of be making a bit of money, like. But those years before, just get out there, like get about, travel. Because like you said, you can just speak with someone.
Because before you know it, you're 35 and you've not done any of that, and you regret it.
Yep. Yeah, you'd rather be 35 and just starting to get up.
Yeah,
30.
Don't worry about money until you're like fucking this age or whatever, 26.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about. Well, obviously you can if you want, but fuck saving money when you're 21. Like, what for? What to buy a house in a place you don't want to live in? Fuck that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good advice. Like, and what about then? Just in general, like people who so you're giving advice for people who don't know what they want to do at all, and then just say people do have an idea and they're absolutely itching to do it, but they've got the fear of starting it. Because that's the biggest thing that holds everyone back. They're like,
I think a lot of people are to realise that your mates are probably going to slag you off when you start, and that's going to happen for everyone. Your mates probably aren't going to be. You'll have one or two that will be supportive, but you're probably going to get slagged a lot. But what you need to do is just do it anyway. After a while, people won't slag you as much, and as soon as you're actually doing quite well, everyone will actually be on your side. But you're going to have that initial kickback. Your mum and dad are probably going to kick back about it as well if you go off the straight road. But yeah, just having that sort of single-mindedness to just do it anyway, because realistically you're wanting to do it because you're not happy doing whatever you're doing just now. So why would you stay unhappy to keep other people happy? Put yourself first. How else did you word that? Because I had something else.
Just more just people who are like, they know they have something, they know they're itching to start it, but like maybe they've got a 9 to 5 that's holding them back, maybe like they've got a kid, maybe they've got like, how do you what's your advice for someone just go for it, take the risk? What's the main bit?
Maybe if you can, like if you're a bit older, if you have some sort of savings, that will always help you a little bit. So even if you say, right, I'm going to start this in a year, start working on it, but also start saving.
Yeah,
because I came back with I only came back with like $3,500, but I'd never had $3,500 before. So it gave me a little bit of, even though I was living with my dad, it was like, okay, I'm quite safe. Like I'm fine. So maybe having a little bit of savings. Also speaking to the people that are doing what you want to do. So before I came back, I phoned maybe 4 PTs. But I knew a few PTs that were working online, and I was just like, how does this work? What should I do first? Get chatting to people that are doing what you want to do. And if you can, I've hired 2 coaches already that were in places that I wanted to be. Like, hire people that are doing what you want to do and get them to teach you what they're doing. That'll be faster than you learning. Like, realistically, well, it's a bit different for freestyle because people that are doing what you want to do are your direct competition, whereas PTs, 60% of the nation could want your help, whereas there's only 3 people that could maybe do the job you want to do, so your direct competition aren't going to help you maybe as much. But even if
that's true,
you could speak to the likes of Andrew at an event and he would give you advice. He would give you advice,
still guarded advice, but
slightly guarded, but he'd give you some advice. So start talking to people that are doing, and whatever you want to do probably isn't as competitive as what you're doing, because it's literally like a few people.
Just on that, I think what you find is what you find and what I find. As soon as you do it, like you will see results pretty much immediately, like way quicker than you think. Like I remember being like, oh, it'd be nice if I can just get a bit of money here. I was almost thinking getting a job and then doing freestyle on the side, because I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be busy enough. But if you just put all your energy into it, it does fly up. Like
and I don't think, provided you can obviously afford it, I don't think there's any upside until, like, say you can save up some money first and then go for it. But I think rather than get a part-time job and do it, I think you should just do it and take the hit. Like, I made £400 in about 6 months, but but then after that I had 6 months of groundwork in, and I'd like, if you look at it now, I'd probably make more money over 12 months than I would have if I had a part-time job and tried to do this on the side. Do you know what I mean? The start is going to be,
so that's where your savings comes in, basically, to keep you
the start is going to be grim,
but if you put all your eggs in this basket, the basket will fill up quicker.
Fucking only the best here.
Analogy king.
I was gonna say analogy. I was like, is it even an analogy?
I don't know. I don't know, donkey.
Well, yeah, just to be real, what has been like the biggest challenge you faced the past 6 months or 12 months? Oh, has it nearly been a year?
I lost my job in July, so 10 months. You were like, so what year is it? Yeah, so 10 months. So yeah, it's going to be nearly a year. 9 months since I came home. What's the biggest challenge I faced? Oh,
Like, what should people look out for? Like, what are they like? Here, by the way, like, it's not all TikToks and ruses, mate.
well, yeah, making no money for 6 months is pretty fucking up there. Like, yeah, making no money, relying on yourself is pretty hard. Like, I've got no one to tell me to do something. So, like, I do have days where I'm not as productive, but also, like, picking yourself back up when you have a day that's not that good and just being like, fuck it. Also, during the pandemic without the G, during that, obviously, I went through the odd day like everyone did where I was like, oh, for fuck this, going to walk again. Like, going to walk around a fucking council estate for the 18th time in the last week. But yeah, like, just having those days and just still fucking going for it anyway. Like, realising you're going to have times where it's not going to go that well and just fucking doing it anyway.
Almost enjoying the being shit.
Yeah,
that's key.
Pretty much.
Enjoying, like, here, I'm in the absolute shit house here.
That's another topic for another day, but definitely going through a rough time and actually embracing the rough time and using it wisely is decent as well.
Yeah, because, you know, people who have quote-unquote real jobs, they have that comfortable, it is comfortable, like, you're getting paid on the 28th of each month, mate.
I think you grow. Nice. I think you grow more as well because you will go through the rough times. Like, and I think getting anxious about like going through rough times builds your, don't know what word I'm going to come out with here, but builds your internal structures,
your resilience.
There we go. Ostriches.
Ostriches. Yeah, no. Yeah, I suppose that is another topic for another day. But yeah, no, like, just to finish, like, without being, I like,
on my face.
From anyone here, everyone here at the Mate Get a Real Job podcast, we're all extremely proud of you, mate, and you've done very well, and we do wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
That'll be a tenner. But yeah, any final words? Anything you want to also talk about,
honestly,
or covered everything?
I think I went pretty in depth with all the bits you asked me at the end. No, I've just fucking go for it, mate.
Yeah.
Don't rely on motivation. I've actually got an idea for an Instagram post where I'm gonna, if you're relying on motivation, I'm gonna point to a bridge. Then I'm gonna be the next one. I'm gonna be on a bridge, and I'm gonna say, build a bridge and get over it.
Can I take the photo of you on the bridge?
Yeah.
Sick. What bridge?
Tower Bridge, the biggest one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the most impressive bridge. I'm gonna be like, if you're relying on motivation, build a bridge and get over it, and then there's just gonna be a picture of me walking over the bridge like a prick. I've been thinking about this for like.
Lost your head.
Yeah. You know this happens basically every now and then. I fully lose it.
I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm looking forward to that.
You lost your hearing because of that song.
Pardon? Alright, on that note, absolute pleasure.
Thank you, mate.
Bush. So next week, John introduce next week.
Yeah, well, the next episode is going to be the roles are reversed. I don't know if you've actually noticed, I'm sitting on quite a comfortable chair. Jamie's literally going to get his arse up, sit himself here, and then we're going to pretend this is a different day, but we're going to do this on the same day. Also, if anyone has enjoyed the episode, if you can rate the episode on Spotify. I don't even know if you can do that. I haven't looked at Spotify. If you're on YouTube, if you can upload it on your story or something, tag us both. Jamie Knight FS, Gavin Mckinney PT. We'll share stuff like that on the story. But we realise this is going to be a more word of mouth thing because I don't think either of our current demographics are going to be the demographic that this appeals to in like a year. I think some people from mine will watch it, but I think we're going to gather a new audience of maybe like 20 to 35-year-old people. So I think we'll get a new audience. So help us grow it by word of mouth and stuff like that, and that would really be appreciated. But yeah, last week was fucking. We were nervous, man. Whereas I think we knew that we were gonna get half decent at it and hold a conversation, but last week we were like presenting it like a CBB.
Yeah, but it's always going to take one in it. Yeah, it's always going to take a couple.
But I think we're off the mark. So
we're off the mark.
But yeah,
thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, see you in the next episode.
See you in a bit.